But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events.
This Caitlin Clark was not playing. That's bad. That is really bad.
They said the WNBA playoffs would be just fine without Caitlin Clark. Yeah, and Titanic was just fine after hitting the iceberg. The second she was out, the ratings didn't just dip. They went cliff diving without a parachute. Fans scattered faster than free pizza at a college dorm.
The New York Liberty is playing the best style of basketball. They are playing the best basketball currently in the WNBA. And when they just had a nationally televised game on ESPN against the Chicago Sky, against Angel Reese, who was one of the biggest names in the WNBA, they had around 600,000 viewers, which is so low.
And now the league's looking around wondering who turned off the lights. If this is fine, I can't wait to see what bad looks like. Ronarks, this isn't just an issue with one game or one series.
You cannot make fans watch what they don't want to watch, but all we heard last year is if the fans were only watching the Indiana Fever, only watching games Caitlin Clark was playing in, then they weren't real fans and they didn't like basketball. And you just had so much media and WNBA personalities and even players just shunning the new fan.
This is a systemic problem that the WNBA has been ignoring for years, and now it's rearing its ugly head. The absence of the league's stars has left a gaping hole that can't be filled by generic backups and an uninspired game plan. The WNBA right now feels like someone accidentally hit the demo mode button on professional basketball and forgot to turn it off.
Fever Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the WNBA. Since y'all want to make it about race, this white girl over here is the reason why fans are tuning in to watch the WNBA.
We're talking about primetime, high-stakes playoff games that feel about as electrifying as watching beige paint dry in slow motion under bad lighting. Why? Because the league's star power has basically been vaporized in the past few weeks. This is not just an inconvenience for fans, it's a full-blown crisis for the league's credibility and future.
So check this out. The game on June 7th, the tickets were originally $86. Same seats, now $25. After her injury announcement. 71% drop in price. Over 71% drop in price. Because she's not going to be in the game.
Let's take a step back and talk about Caitlin Clark for a second. She's not just any player, she's the golden ticket. The reason half of America even remembered the WNBA existed. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was creating moments. Every time she hit the court, it felt like the world stopped to watch. And when she went down with an injury, it wasn't just an injury to her body, it was an injury to the heart of the league.
You see, this is exactly what we were talking about. WNBA All-Star ratings are in for 2025, and it is down 40%. 40% from last year. That's bad. That is really bad. We already watched the ticket prices drop by more than 50% because Caitlin Clark was not playing. This is bad news for the WNBA.
When Clark was sidelined, it wasn't just the WNBA that suffered, it was the entire basketball ecosystem. The league's viewership, already fragile, took an instant nosedive. As soon as her presence was gone, so was about 70% of the TV audience. That's not an exaggeration, it's closer to reality than anyone in the league wants to admit.
So if you consult the graph that I've just posted here, you'll see that nobody is watching the WNBA. That's the reason why the WNBA isn't making, I missed a few of them. So this is the reason why the WNBA isn't making any money and they're not getting paid. It gets worse.
People tune in for the stars. Without Caitlin Clark, there's no draw. It's that simple. The WNBA turned into a TV screen filled with static. The moment Clark left the scene, a massive void opened up that no one could fill. The league's marketing machine had been running on her star power for months, but without her, it felt like they didn't know what to do with themselves. It's like trying to make a pizza without cheese. It's just not going to work. Fans don't want to watch a second-rate performance, they want the best. And Clark was, without a doubt, the best. Her injury didn't just impact the playoff games, it shattered the momentum the league had been building.
Given Clark's unprecedented star power, her being confined to the Fever's Gamebridge Fieldhouse sidelines was always going to impact ratings, and she was actually there. It was her team. And the fans sent a clear message.
Then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, the injuries kept piling up. First, Angel Reese, the drama queen of the court and the social media engagement machine, got injured. The same girl who could single-handedly stir the pot and keep fans on the edge of their seats, gone. It was like the league's star power was being wiped out one player at a time. And it wasn't just Reese. Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, they all went down with injuries too. And you can't help but wonder if these players are just part of a larger pattern, one that's turning the WNBA into a revolving door of injuries. You can't keep running a league with this kind of instability. It's bad enough to lose one or two players, but when half of your most exciting talents are sidelined, you're in serious trouble.
The person who really should get all the blame is Kathy Engelberg. Yes, this is Kathy Engelberg's doing. You know why? Because she has incompetent referees.
This series of injuries wasn't just a fluke, it was a sign of the league's fragile foundation. For a league that's trying to grow and gain more viewership, it's hard to build anything lasting when your stars are constantly getting injured or sidelined for long periods. It's a danger zone, and no one's stepping in to fix it. The fans are feeling it, and so are the athletes. Every game now feels like a ticking time bomb. Who's next? When you watch a WNBA game right now, you can feel it in the air. The energy is gone. It's not just about the players, it's about the whole atmosphere of the game. There's no electricity in the arena, no excitement building with each shot. The stands are sparsely populated, and the energy that used to fill the arena with excitement is nowhere to be found. It's like attending a concert with no headliner. Ronar, what's happened to the entertainment value? Where are the thrilling buzzer beaters, the high-flying dunks, the game-changing moments that used to have fans screaming in excitement? Instead, we're watching second-rate backups do their best to keep the game afloat. But let's face it, they're not even close to the level needed to generate true excitement.
So lads, the All-Star ratings were confirmed, and I have to say, not ideal. Not ideal for the WNBA, and I'll take a look. So, the WNBA All-Star Game had 2.19 million viewers. Like, we can't forget last year peaked at over 4 million. This, in fact, is less viewership than an average Caitlin Clark game.
Ronars, the WNBA has tried to compensate with more minor storylines, but without those marquee names, there's nothing to really grab viewers' attention. Imagine paying top dollar for a ticket to a concert, only to find out your favorite band isn't showing up and you're stuck listening to the sound tech mess around with the microphone. That's what it feels like watching the WNBA right now. The excitement's been replaced with apathy. Ronars, the kimoflak when the pack and the kimapakanite toward iskiwa. King toile kanaprinat, where mappa kamatik, penning it's not hard to see why. When you take away the stars, the fans start looking for something else to watch. And who could blame them? Without the excitement, without the drama, the WNBA is nothing more than a shell of what it could be.
This should be a straight up wake up call. With the ticket prices dropping, and now you see the show, the ratings fell tremendously.
Now, let's talk about the officiating. If you thought the players were struggling, you haven't seen anything yet. The referees this season are a complete disaster. It's like they just downloaded the rules of basketball from Wikipedia 5 minutes before tip-off and decided to go with it. No one knows what's going on, and half the time, even the refs look confused. It's not just bad, it's embarrassing. Referees have been calling games like they're playing a game of who can blow the worst whistle. Every questionable call, every missed foul, it disrupts the flow of the game. Instead of letting the players decide the outcome, the refs are stepping in and altering the game's pace with every whistle they blow. And it's not just a few bad calls here and there. The mistakes are happening constantly, leaving players frustrated and fans confused. If these referees worked in any other industry, HR would have escorted them out of the building by now, and yet they're still here, making a mess of every game they officiate.
And it was an awful game. So that large percent of people who did not watch, they probably had a better Saturday than everybody else. We just got to be real.
The officiating has become part of the problem, and it's only making things worse. Games that should be exciting are turning into slow, drawn-out, mistake-riddled spectacles. And at this point, no one seems to know how to fix it. Let's talk about the WNBA's dependency on a handful of players to keep the league afloat. This isn't just a marketing strategy, It's a full-on gamble. The league has built its brand around a few key stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But what happens when those stars get injured? The whole thing comes crashing down.
In the three-point contest or the All-Star game, both of which she was planning to do because of a groin injury.
The WNBA's product is too reliant on a small group of players to keep the audience engaged, and that's a major problem. Think about it. The NBA has been successful not just because of its big stars, but because of the depth of its talent pool. When LeBron James gets hurt, the league doesn't fold. They have other players to step up, to fill the gap, to keep the show going. But in the WNBA, when one or two stars fall, there's no one to take their place. The replacements are good, sure, but they're not drawing in the crowds the way the originals did. This is where the league has a huge opportunity to grow, but it needs to stop relying so heavily on its top players. Developing new stars, building rivalries, and creating new narratives are all essential to keeping fans invested in the game. Right now, the WNBA is stuck in a pattern of focusing on the same few names, and when those players disappear, the whole league suffers.
This goes right to the Indiana Fever management and leadership as well. Better know whatever consequences the WNBA suffers from Caitlin Clark not being around, as will you.
The impact of these injuries and the league's reliance on a small group of players is already starting to show in fan engagement. Fans are tuning out, and social media platforms that used to buzz with excitement during games are now eerily silent. There are fewer debates, fewer viral moments, fewer clips lighting up timelines. The buzz around the WNBA has vanished, and with it, the energy that used to keep fans coming back for more. Even sponsorships are starting to pull back. Companies that once saw the WNBA as an exciting, growing platform are now rethinking their investment. They're looking at the league's shrinking viewership and wondering if it's worth their time and money. And when the sponsorship dollars start drying up, it's only a matter of time before the league feels the financial pressure. That's the reality of the situation.
I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain.
The WNBA can't keep relying on its past successes to fund its future. So what's the solution here? It's clear that the WNBA needs an immediate reboot. This isn't a problem that can be solved with minor tweaks or short-term fixes. The league needs to start from the top down. First, fix the officiating. No more half-baked calls. Second, protect the stars. They're the lifeblood of the league, and without them, there is no product. Third, develop new stars. The WNBA can't keep leaning on the same small group of players. It needs fresh talent, new rivalries, and exciting narratives.
And it was also reported that the Indiana Fever television viewership is also down over 53%.
But the biggest thing the WNBA needs right now is an identity. It needs to decide what it wants to be. Right now, it's floundering, trying to hold on to a product that's no longer working. If the league wants to survive, it needs to reinvent itself, and it needs to do it quickly.
Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down.
So lads, this is very, very concerning if you're the WNBA coming into the CBA. It is the worst possible thing that can happen, is the ratings coming out. It is the worst possible thing, because you cannot work on the assumption anymore that the league's TV deal is going up. You cannot work on that assumption because the ratings are down over 50%. Fever games are down 53% with Clark out, and it's only national televised games. And
the WNBA's current situation is a cautionary tale. A league that was once poised for greatness is now struggling to maintain its relevance. If things don't change, and fast, this could be the beginning of the end for the league. The problem isn't just that the stars are injured, it's that the league has built itself on the shoulders of a few big names, and when those names disappeared, so did the fans. It needs to protect its stars, build new ones, and fix its officiating, because if it doesn't, it's headed down a dangerous path toward irrelevance. This isn't just about this season, it's about the future of the league. If the WNBA doesn't act now, it might not be able to recover in time. And that's the harsh reality. The future of the league depends on its ability to adapt and evolve, and that has to happen right now before it's too late.